Hey, who do we have in the house so far? There we go. Patrick 7. There is K Love. How are you doing? Teresa, Mel. We got Mel in the house. There is my son-in-law, Christy. Well, no, I don't have. Well, I kind of do have Wesley Hightower in the house, kind of, sort of. That was the test run there in the comments. What's going on, all y'all? It is T with Mountain Readiness. Of course, Mountain Readiness Mondays, where we talk homesteading, survival, preparedness, all those type of things. It has been a long weekend. I don't know about you guys. I've been playing catch up from being gone for like a month straight, trying to keep up on things, but we're finally starting to get back into the saddle, into the groove, into the grind. What are you guys doing out there? John, Tom, what's going on, Tom? Glad to see Tom Bryce in the house, brother. So we got a great show tonight. Some of our OGs of the Mountain Readiness crew. I see some eyeballs out there. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Big thanks to the Russ of Oz behind the curtain. Can you throw that? That's right. Bam. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Any of the love that we could possibly get is always appreciated to make the algorithm gods happy and shine favorably down upon us. So let's talk about things up and coming. We've got Mountain Readiness Spring Expo. This is 4.0, May 1st through the 3rd at the Van Hoy Family Campground. Prices are as low as they gonna be, y'all. Right now until December 31st. If you plan on coming, jump up on there and get your tickets, get your spot. December 31st, the price goes up. And right now we're running that Snap card discount, right? You get that deal. So it's going to be a good one too. I'm talking to some people. We're going to get some new people there. We've got the OGs that are all coming. Of course, our guests tonight will be there. Since day one, they've been here. And they can continue to be with us. We also can talk about later tonight that we're going to be doing our Texas event. And yes, Tom, I saw that. Tom he's one of those pre-planner. He already bought them tickets. So good on you, Tom. We appreciate you every single day. We appreciate you. Will Gomez in the house. What's going on, Will? And of course, I said Crystal. Yep. Always good to see Crystal in the house. And Crystal bought her ticket, if I'm not mistaken. I remember seeing that come through. Andrew Degenhart, Texas event. Yes, we will talk about that tonight. So let's start getting into this. Our people that are going to be on tonight, of course, Wes Hightower, 82nd Airborne, infantry, mortar man, did all the special forces stuff. An awesome guy. I'm not going to mention anything. Well, you'll see. He did the mustache thing. Like, I'm sorry, guys. He did the mustache thing. He's still hot, all right? And, he wears them sexy pants, too, a lot of times. So we're giving him a pass. But of course, got into instructor, special warfare, and intelligence, and all that secret squirrel stuff. Awesome stuff that I still don't quite understand. I'm getting there. I think I'm 3 classes deep into what they offer. And of course, Dan Keating, 8 years as a Marine. People said, oh yeah, we won't hold it against them, crayon eating and all that kind of stuff. But no, Dan is awesome. He does all that, 5 deployments and security contractor overseas. And of course, he is just spot on when it comes to that night vision, which he does a lot of training with police and military in the night vision realm. But without further ado, let's bring on these two awesome gentlemen, Mr. Wes Hightower and Dan Keating. How are you doing, guys? And they did the hand. And there it is. there it is. That mustache, dude, though. I'm just saying.
Bad. It ain't bad.
That is pimp. Bad. That's pimp. And you got it all like, it got the right there, right on the dimple.
It's right on the edge of outside of regs.
Yeah.
The Ron Jeremy look. Absolutely.
Yeah. I came in the office this morning and he was like, what's up, dude? Like, I had a new ID card this morning. He was like, oh, okay.
Nah, you did it. You had to do it. So where are you guys at in the world right now? You're back home, aren't you, Wes? What about you, Dan? You off and about in some other realm?
Well, I'm in North Carolina. I'm at Coleman's Creek right now. I shoot 3-gun matches, and we have our last big match of the year. So I'm helping. Zoo City's the company that puts the matches on, so I'm helping those guys out since I'm unemployed at the moment. So I'm gainfully unemployed, so I'm helping them out because they've been always good dudes to us. And then I'll be shooting the match Wednesday and Thursday, and then I RO the main match on Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Very cool. Now, how many of those do you have under the belt? Like, because you do this all the time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
You're always
three or four big matches a year, and then I've been doing that for about 5 years solid now.
Cool. How many have you won?
Oh, I'm aggressively mediocre. I will never win one of these things. I don't live a lifestyle where I can yeah, big old 0. I'm a solid big pack shooter, but I'm also shooting against world class. Like, this is a major match, so we have guys coming from all over the country. Last year, I shot against dudes like JJ Ricazza, who, if you remember that History Channel show Top Shot, like, he was one of the guys that won that show, right? So, like, you know what I mean? Like, he gets paid to shoot, so I don't have that kind of time or ammo allotment.
Cheating bastards, always doing that kind of stuff. Said the Magnum stash. Almost. Look, Larry, I ain't going to give him the Magnum stash. Like,
I'm not.
Tom Selleck stash was like, if you took, if you took 3 mustaches and you stacked them all on top of each other, that's a Magnum stash. Like, I mean, that guy had a stash. No doubt about it. Oh, man, the comments are coming in. Look, guys, if you have a question tonight for these gentlemen, hashtag rally. If you have a question for these guys, jump on in them comments and we will star them. And, well, actually, Russ will star them because I can't keep track of all the things moving and doing all the stuff. There you go. Pow. Use rally. And there's an E in there, though, Russ. There's not supposed to be an E. It's just yeah. I mean, we leave it like that, though. It makes it even more entertaining.
Words are hard.
South Carolina Public.
Bam! Just like that. Pow!
There you go.
And it's fixed. The Russ of Oz, that quick, can fix
Hey, man,
stuff.
I was a Marine, so I get the word hard thing. So.
I mean, Dan actually thought that was correct. So, let's get into this, guys. So I had my questions here, and like right now, you guys have been around, partnership with Rally Point ISR Solutions. How did this even begin? Let's get the backstory out of the way. How did this begin? How did you guys even link up and tell everybody about, kind of a little bit about your background in case they don't know. And then how Rally Point ISR Solutions kind of became what it is right now.
Dan, you want to field that one?
Yeah, I'll field it. So I've been I did 8 years in the Marine Corps infantry, so I was a conventional dude, and I got out and immediately got into the security contracting world. I deployed to Kabul like 2 months after my EAS. I was already back in Kabul, so I've been kind of doing that my entire life. And you'll hear me say it all the time, but trigger pullers are a dime a dozen. So I try to train in different aspects as much as I can. So I met Wes several years ago now. So part of doing security protective details is surveillance identification, counter surveillance, doing what we call post-target reconnaissance. Go doing advanced work on a venue before the client comes in. So that type of work is right up my alley. So I found Wes on Instagram teaching. I think surveillance awareness was my first course with him. And
no kidding. Wait a second, on Instagram much as no kidding.
I got disinvited from Facebook back in 2020, 2021, somewhere in that time frame. So I started an Instagram, and I only follow training pages, gun pages, that stuff that I'm into. And I found he posted up a class. It was under the Gray Zone Activity banner at the time. And
probably Forward Observer or Gray Zone, one of the two.
Yeah, Gray Zone, Forward Observer, one of those. Anyway, I found in Nashville, and I was between contracts at the time, so I was like, yeah, screw it. I'm always looking to expand my skill sets, so I went and did that class, and it was really cool. It was one of the first classes I did where after we graduated, all the people, we were like, all right, so we're going to do this again, right? So we scheduled another class for several months down the line, and we all showed up again. And then just been going through, and a couple years later, Wes asked if I'd be interested in working with him, since what he does and what I do really meshes well together. So, and that was a huge honor.
I agree.
I couldn't say no to it.
Yeah, I agree. You guys are a perfect fit on that one for sure.
Yeah.
So roughly like
Dan's looks don't outshine me. So
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Well, you've seen, I had to do a contract at a nuclear facility, and I had to shave for it. So this is definitely face armor. I'm a baby face if I have to shave.
Man, dude, I'm the same. Like, especially if you got curly locks like this. I don't know if you guys remember Little House on the Prairie. That's like Nelly Olson shit right there. Man, you gotta have a beard. Yeah, you gotta, or yeah, whatever. Thor. I think that's more like Thor hair. That's some of Thor locks. But yeah, if you take this beard off,
Corps, when you shave every day, I was like, you know what? I'm being free.
No, that's me. I did the 5 years on the fire department, and then when that ended, I was like, I'm done. That's it. Let it go.
Like Pete Hegseth said, you should have fucking joined SF, dude.
Yeah,
right. I like that guy, but that comment there, I'm just gonna pass on. I'm gonna pass altogether on it. So, like 3 years basically. And Wes, give everybody your spiel on the backstory of all the cool guy stuff that you've done up till this point.
Mostly a blur. kind of like having sex.
Went by fast.
Man, my career has been really good, man. I've been fortunate to do the things that I've done and experienced all the things that I've experienced, and I'm very thankful that that God allowed me to have the life and career that I had. And like Dan said, I met Dan at Nashville teaching a surveillance awareness course. And I'm always hesitant to bring Marines into my inner sanctum, but after a couple of test runs, I learned that Dan was a trustworthy, smart, and motivated dude, and had some capabilities that we could bring to bear in the training realm. So, like Dan said, I think our skill sets complement each other very well. Dan's a little bit heavier on the gun side, firearms and tactics than I am, and I'm sure most folks have probably heard me say that know me. I'm not a gun guy. I'm a tactics guy. Dan is more of a gun guy than I am. So if you need to know about guns specifically, Dan's probably your guy. But I like tactics. I could care less about guns. So
yeah, I'm the gun guy too. Like just the dumb door kicker. That's where I'm at. That's my
kind of guns that I like is
spot.
I like a lever action 30-30, man. Old school cowboy shit. That's the kind of shit I like.
I got a bunch of old school stuff. To me, a gun is a tool, but I really like to nerd out on having, 3-gun matches, right? I've got specific guns set up for competition. They're my toys, basically. Not something I would grab if I had to go to work, but they're fun. And I've got work stuff. And then if I have to do, some protective details, we have restrictions that the military didn't. It's all just how it all works. It's a tool and toolbox.
Oh yeah. I've got a lot of those pew items, but one of my favorite was it last year? I think it was last year. Amber got me the 30-30 lever action Golden Boy octagon barrel Henry repeater, and that is by far one of my favorite weapons. Favorite pieces, and it's just like it feels like you're hunting with that rifle. Like when you go hunting with that rifle, you feel like you're hunting. You know, that's the only way I can explain it. I don't know how else I can explain that there. I love
My
that
old
thing.
man
I love it.
basically stole my Marlin 3030 from me. You know, I took it home to go deer hunting with my son, and my old man somehow got a hold of it and was like, "Damn, this thing's nice." And then next thing you know, I don't own the Marlin 3030 anymore.
And there it goes. It is gone.
My first hunting rifle was a 35 Remington lever action that my dad still has to this. It was his gun, but it was my gun. But then I left, and it was so. Hopefully someday that'll be my gun again someday.
Right. All my kids, they do that kind of stuff too. They're like, I don't know. My daughter, I've got this big skull ring. It's silver. The guy Into the Fire, he's a famous jeweler, silversmith, and like, you know, she saw this ring. She was like, "Hey, Dad, when you're dead, can you make sure that you leave that?" And I'm like, "What in the world? Like, you know, are you serious? This is how we're rolling?" You know, I mean, like, I thought we were better than that.
I'll be sad, but
but if you could leave that in your will, let's see here. Burke Springs said, "Tell him we got to get a 2025 Bearded Men a preparedness calendar." I couldn't agree more. Maybe we throw this together for May. This sounds like a great idea. Great idea. Let me see what I can come up with. Maybe
I'm not allowed to say 9/11 on the YouTube chat.
You're not?
No,
did it cancel you out?
This comment has failed to post to Mountain Readiness.
Damn, dog.
Yep.
You broke the rules. We're getting canceled.
You broke the rules. Already going to kill this feed right out of the gate. Well, folks, it was good. It's been real. Bye now. Next Monday.
Yeah, John asked what our motivation was for joining the military. I was trying to respond, John.
Well, those are all in the star. Those are in the starred comments, though. So let's pull a cup here. Our good friend Tom Bryce, he says, "Hey Wes, Pete tells me there is a class set up. He's going to get me the info. Do you know which class he's talking about?"
Yeah, he's talking about the Florida class. That is, it's in February. I think it's the first weekend in February. That is our lock vulnerability and bypass techniques class. It's in Daytona, Florida. That is 6 through 8 February.
Bam.
And that is at Top Gun something in Daytona. But it's on
that's
the
that range. The range?
Yeah, it's a shooting range. Yeah, it's an indoor shooting range.
Yeah, I hear it's a decent place. I need to get down there and make my rounds in Florida one of these days myself. I will tell you that which was the class? It was Denied Access was the class.
Denied Area Reconnaissance.
Yeah, and I expected to be way better at lock picking, but I am not. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Look here, y'all. Like, I'm going to tell you, there is a lot that goes on in this lock picking realm, and I would tell you, like, the hand cutting key stuff, like your eyeballs got to be on point. Just gonna say, I don't know what these little nicks these guys said that they're seeing in the light. Them nicks wasn't there. I didn't see them. I don't care how that key got held sideways, upside down in the light. Doesn't matter. I didn't see them. But I learned a lot in that class about locks, more than I ever I thought I would. And actually getting some of those tumbler locks to move, and but I probably will kick doors in way more often is where I'm at in life. That's
my favorite joke, dude. Shotgun works every time.
Every time. Pow. Pow. SHTF Hunter. What's going on, Richard? Richard always comes to these events whenever he can, helps me out, set up tents and stuff. Absolutely not, man. Those tactical games will hurt you. I don't know what's wrong with you people wanting to do these tactical game competitions, because like putting a 150-pound barbell up above your head and then running 250 yards and not breaking your back. No, I don't know how you guys do it. Have you ever done one of these tactical games?
No, I have a buddy who used to run them at Griffin Group, or his were not tactical games. It was a different brand. Same kind of different. It's something I'm interested in trying out. It's just, I haven't had the time. It's always, I like doing hard things. It's every once in a while I do something where it just sucks really bad. And then when I actually get to be at home sitting on the couch, you appreciate it that much more.
This is true. This is true.
Of course, I'm
Man,
also
we
staring
are
down the
get-
barrel of 40, and my knees don't hold up quite as good as they used to, too. So there's that.
I've got the hip thing. I've got the hip issues is my newest thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm knocking on 50's door. It's right around the corner, and the hips, man. Like I'm ashamed of myself. I wake up and I'm like, I even heard myself. I'm like, oh, my hip. You know, I'm like, oh no, I'm at that point in my life.
My dad's been telling me forever. He's always like, getting old is not for pussies. And now that I'm getting old, I'm like, damn it. He was so right. My dad is the smartest guy I know.
Yes. Thank you, Christy. Yes, I do. I need to get down there. I need to get down. I need to do a lot of things, man. I have been just, I am supposed to be going to do a drone class with Mr. Byron and Tactical Rifleman just to learn how to fly because, you know, and what's your guys' thought on drone? Because, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's here to stay.
It's here to stay.
It's not going away.
There's no getting around it at this point.
And as much as I don't like technology, like, what do you do? Right? I mean, go in there and get some training and at least get the basics down.
Yeah, you can either hop on the book train or wait to get hit by one. You know, there's no choice at this point.
Exactly. So, yeah, I that's something I need to get spun up on. I need to do a little bit of something on because that's a world that I have not. I played with a drone, but not anything that, you know, really matters. So, but good old John, he said for both, Rally, who in your life really motivated you both to pursue the field you are in and why? Who wants to jump on that one first?
I'll start. I don't know who motivated me per se. There's a picture of me when I was still in diapers. Like I was in a diaper, a camouflage t-shirt with a plastic helmet and a toy gun. So there was never any doubt where I was going in this life. My grandfather served in World War II, but other than that, like I don't really have like a lineage of military history or anything like that. It's just I was born to do what I do. And I even tried getting out of the security world for a while, having like a normal civilian job, and I hated every minute of it. I am what I am, and I've been that way ever since I was born.
Sometimes you just gotta be what you gotta be, and there we are. What about you,
Sometimes
Wes?
like
Was there a motivating person or something in life that pushed you towards where you are at today? Or
no, I think Dan probably and I are very similar in that regard. You know, I just was born to be a soldier. Wasn't born to be a Marine. You know,
well, not everybody can be the best. So
not everybody likes red flavored candles, but actually, I tried to join the Marine Corps, but it didn't work out. Anyways, I was born to be a soldier, man. You know,
yep.
I'm like my grandfather on my dad's side was in the military during World War II. He served in the Army Air Corps, was stationed over in England. And military service is not, in my family, it was not something that everybody did. But 9/11 obviously had a big impact on me, you know, probably like it did for Dan. I remember when
defining moment.
I was in my 9th grade world geography class, Coach Hoover's world geography class when 9/11 kicked off. And, you know, we had a TV in the classroom that played the news kind of on silent. And they sent us home that day. And, you know, a couple years later, I was on my way to basic training to become a airborne paratrooper. So, I don't know. It's just written in the cards, I guess, in the stars.
That's it. I jacked myself up, man. I tried. You know, I was 18. I went in there. That was peacetime though. When I was 18, you know, those numbers that evidently we can't type into the comments. Right when that happened, you know, I was up on a roof and I'd already tried that. I took this big old, you know, my medical record like a book and went in there. Man, I got laughed out of everything. Even the Marines, everybody laughed me out. They're like, "Nope, not a chance. Get out, not a chance. You'll never make it."
It actually worked out good for me. You know, the Marines, I went into the Marines with my best friend, Chad. Here's how did not get in the Marine Corps. I was 17 years old. Me and my best friend Chad were up late smoking weed one night, watching Full Metal Jacket, and we were like, "Man, you know what we should do? We should join the Marine Corps." So we went down to the Marine Corps recruiting station the next day, and then we were like, "Hey, man, we're going to join the Marine Corps, be infantry, join on a buddy program." There's only one problem. We've been up all night smoking weed. And the recruiter was like, "Well, that's no big deal." He's like, "Here's some pills. Take these pills, go home, drink a bunch of water, come back tomorrow. You'll take your drug test, and then you'll get in the Marine Corps." So we did. We both went home. We drank, a gallon of water, like the recruiter said, took our little niacin pills, and then came back to the recruiting station the next day. He drove us down to MEPS in San Antonio, and we took our drug tests. Well, my buddy Chad passed and I failed. So I got put on a 6-month hold to join the military. And now Chad is dead, and I'm at the end of my 20 years special operations in the Army. So everything is the way it's supposed to be. But anyway.
Agreed.
Yeah,
agreed. That's why
I originally intended to join the Army. My original intention was to join the Army, but in high school, I got in trouble. And if you were like the bad kid, you had to sit by yourself at lunch. So I was sitting at lunch, bored off my face. And a Marine recruiter came. They had like a little booth set up whatever, cafeteria. And and I was bored, so I was like, I'll just go talk to this dude. At least I can talk to somebody while I'm sitting here. And I ended up joining at 17 years old, my junior year. My parents had to sign off on it, and then I had to finish and graduate. And a week after I graduated high school, I was in boot camp. So while everybody was at senior week and having all the parties, I was not having fun.
You were partying, face down in the dirt.
I was having a party, yeah.
Pushing that,
ain't no party like a working party,
That's it. Who else we got here in the comments? We've got, let's see here, stars. Oh, Tom, yes, that 4570 that Black Armor is doing is pretty sweet. And from what I talked to Byron, it's going to get way better. So they're still doing a little bit of modification and changing some stuff around. But what about bringing in Air Force types? I'm sure we're good for something. Yes, everyone needs someone to hold a chair down. Absolutely.
We love you, Air Force folks. You give us a ride when you got to go fight somebody.
Our buddy Jerry's an Air Force dude. We love him still.
We still love you though, Russ. The Russ of Oz back behind the curtain though, man. Nothing against Russ, because Russ, he is aim high completely. Aim high Air Force all the way. Yes, that is in December, the first part of December. If you check Tactical Rifleman schedule, I think they have it up there under the drone course. I think it's like a 4-day thing, but I can only fit 2 days. I'm only going to fly. I'm going to do the flying part, and the rest of it, I can't make it. So first 2 days is all I'm going to be able to do, because I am currently too busy playing with turkeys and chasing chickens and things of that nature. So what else we got here in the comments?
I'm actually headed up to Matt's here this weekend. He's got a drone ISR class that he's teaching Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Nice.
So I'm gonna go audit that deal. But
crap. Well, let me know how it is, because I can only get 2 days of flying in for that one. Is the only place I could squeeze in for the next month or two. And but I'll take that one the next time he does it, because that's only 2 hours away from the house. So that there would be a little bit better. But let's see here. Another podcast, you were talking about a type of training where you were given an impossible task to push yourself and work better as a group. Can you give an example?
Yeah, that was actually from the book, The Comfort Crisis. I think that was probably when I was discussing the Comfort Crisis.
The last one you did. Yeah.
Yeah, with Mariah Prussia on.
With Mariah. Define the fight. Yeah.
Yeah. So an example would be like walking the Appalachian Trail, right? What is reasonable to walk in like one day? Whatever that number is for you, with your load and how fast you walk in a day, let's call it 10 miles just for round numbers sake, right? Whatever that number is, you basically double it, and that becomes an impossible task. It's called a masogi. It's a Japanese word. And masogi basically means impossible task. But the goal is to, like Dan was saying earlier, it's just to suffer, and
Right.
it really is. And I think the thing that bonds people together better than anything else is shared suffrage. So I hope that Dan and I have the ability to implement things like that into our business and into our friendship. But I think it's important that somebody does that on like a 6-month or at least annual basis. You suffer because suffrage is really what teaches you about who you are. So
absolutely, get out there and embrace the suck for a little bit together
Plus,
as one.
All my stories, my favorite stories to tell, like the stories I remember are the ones where it sucked while we were doing it. And then, it's not fun at the time at all. You really hate life. But then like a month or two later, then you're like, oh yeah, I remember that one thing that happened. And then like 2 years down the line, you're like, oh, that was like the greatest weekend ever. Yeah, it wasn't, but your brain tricked yourself into remembering that it was.
Well, it is after the fact. It's always awesome after the fact.
I don't remember any stories about, even going back on deployments in the Marine Corps and all, I don't remember when it was like 75 and nice and sunny and like, I have zero stories about that stuff.
Yep. No, it's through suffering is learning, man. I remember the Alan K class we did last February when it was just cold and nasty, and like first thing everybody got lined up, and Alan was like, give me your cigarettes, your dip, your cell phone, everything that you love, put it in this bag, and so, right all, womp. The whole class just went into a deep depression. But by the end of the day, everybody was good and happy and learned a bunch, except for the one guy who left because he couldn't handle it. He took all those creature comforts away. But yeah, that sucked, man. It makes you remember. It makes you learn. It sticks with you. There you go. It sticks with you.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Embrace the suck. That is exactly right. Yeah, Alan K class. Matthew got some of that. Mr. Matt King, he got some of that action there of that class. It was rough. I was walking around like staring at everybody else who were building little huts that everybody was going to get to sleep in for the night and freeze to death. And then, 2 hours from dark, Alan's like, are you going to build your hut? I'm like, shit, I have to build one too. He's like, well, yeah, everybody's sleeping. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I got 2 hours to put this hut together. And once again, it sucked. And so I learned from that. Starred comments. I don't know what are we talking about, Patrick? Like my little boy, he's the same way, and all he wants to do is join the service. He doesn't want to fight the bad guys. He just wants to save people. Hey, right on. Nothing wrong with that at all. So,
tell me,
Navy's got the corpsmen. The Air Force has PJs. Like, there's a lot of the recruiting videos show the kicking the doors and storming the beaches and all that stuff. But man, there's so many different jobs for people in the military. And when I was a little bit younger, I was a little bit cockier about, if you're not infantry, you're not anything. But now, man, if you're going to be a mechanic, we need mechanic. I don't know.
Man,
the brakes. So
shame on you. Do not ever shame on you. Don't ever say that again. Don't ever say that again for as long as you live, man. Do not ever be a mechanic, boys and girls. Don't. 30 years doing that busting knuckle stuff. It's horrible. It's horrible. It is great to learn. It's great to know, but it does suck.
Great skill.
And it's a great skill, but that one there is sometimes when the embracing the suck and after the fact, I never look back and I'm never like, man, that was a good time when I was changing that, head gasket in that truck. Never look back and say, oh yeah, that was a great time. Nah, there was never a good time of that. What did Tom say out here? He says, T, Who did you cuddle up with to keep the body heat? I froze to death, Tom. Not even lying. I froze to death. In fact, at like 3:00 in the morning, I got up and went to the medical tent that we had set up and sat next to the fire. Ain't gonna lie. I was like, you know what? I could make it through this night. I could, but I'm not going to. So I went and warmed up. And that's exactly what I did. Not even scared to say it. So, and my back was hurting. That was the other thing, man. Laying up in that little spider hut. I don't know. What do they call it? I call them a spider hut, because you're all buried in there. You got your little lean-to of the twigs, and then you cover it with 80 feet of leaves, and you got your little thing inside. I call it a spider hut because there's always bugs and spiders up in there with you. That's who you get to cuddle up with, is spiders. Little spiders. Spoon is the warmest.
I was helping my cousin move. He's about to move out to the Midwest, and he's got this kid's playground in the backyard. We're tearing it down, getting it ready to move, and we flipped it over, and there's a couple black widows underneath there. And he went to squashing them. I was like, whoa, what are you doing, man? He's like, I'm about to kill him. I was like, hold on now. You never know when you might need a black widow. Let's find a matchbox or something.
You never know when you need a very venomous spider. Yeah. You never know. Those I agree. I mean, it's good to absolutely. No, I can't agree more. And of course, Richard, man, mechanic in Army vehicles really suck, especially trucks built by Oshkosh. And I feel for you, man. Like, we both have been in the same spot 30 years.
Every job in the military
knuckles.
has its level of suck. Everything's. Even as I got into the civilian world, I found out everything's got its like little bit of bullshit that you have to deal with.
Miss K Love, she said her hut would be fancy. All of the spiders in her hut would have designer shoes and shit. That's what will be going down. Be like, look at my brown recluse. Has these bedazzle embossed, pumps. Nah, man, exactly. She have those. Let's talk about some of the Rally Point ISR training. But first, the Russ of Oz, would you kick up? Y'all give these guys a follow, some love. If you don't, scan this QR code right here. Take you right to the Rally Point website. Covered up half of Dan's face, but that's okay. Sorry. That's okay. He still looks good from the nose up.
Probably better even.
So, fear no man, thrive in chaos, bring to the light what is hidden by the dark. Rally Point Solutions. Where did you get that from, Wes? What does that mean to you? How did you come up with incorporating that into Rally Point?
Yeah, so that is an original quote. Feel free to quote me, but I think our training is really about bringing to light things that are unknown. Like everything that we do is about figuring out what the enemy is doing and then coming up with countermeasures for whatever it is that they're doing. So, with intel, with good information, you can make informed decisions, right? Everybody's heard the term OODA loop, right? So observe, orient, decide, act. With good information, you can inform your OODA loop and make quicker, better decisions. So all of our courses really center around that: intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance. It's about informing your OODA loop process and then being able to make quick, informed decisions. So that's what we do.
Awesome. I love it. I did not know that was an original. I may utilize that now and again if there's no copyright on that scene.
Yeah. Just put us on your
It don't suck. It don't suck. I thought you'd done, ancient Chinese proverb you'd ripped that from or something,
I did not.
Very good. Love it. What is the misconceptions people have? Intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance work. What area study? Why do we need one? I mean, I live out here in the middle of nowhere. Like, you've pulled me up on the map. I'm just like, there ain't nothing around here. Why? What's the misconceptions? Why do we need an area study? What is it? Give us some in-depth on that.
Dan, you want to field that one?
Yeah. So, area study. It's one of the most important things you can do because, one, if you're living in an area, you kind of want to know what the hell is happening around you anyway. So even if you live out in the middle of nowhere, an area study is not just like bad guys doing bad stuff. I'm not just worried about that, but like check out your floodplain maps, right? Do historical, especially after last year, like is there a historical flood area? What's the average natural disaster? Is this place earthquake prone? Is it hurricane prone? Mudslides, that's a big one in like Tennessee, West North Carolina. What are the things that I'm facing? It's not just all bad guys doing bad stuff. Sometimes Mother Nature has a say in what's happening, but you don't know until you find out. And then what kind of resources do I have? And then everybody loves talking about bugging out. And at the last Mountain Readiness, we did that knot tying and river crossing class. Like, all right, cool. Have you done it? You have your little cabin in the woods, but have you thought about like what it takes to get there? Do you have to cross a body of water? Like, you don't have a choice. You have a plan for that. So you don't know any of these questions to even ask unless you know what's happening around you.
Right. And then we got Nick Meester. There we go. Bam. Area study combined with threat and hazard assessment as essential to know your risks. What's going on, Nick? I haven't talked to Nick in a while. Hope you were doing good, man, with the knee and all. Hope you're getting back around. And so going to have to catch it in the replay. What are the misconceptions then especially of the civilian realm when you're talking about surveillance and reconnaissance and stuff like that? I mean, what makes it important to us? What are the misconceptions of us? What would it be? The civilian puke life? Is that the correct terminology, or
dirty civilians?
Yeah. Well, I'll talk about, so at CanCon, we were talking to a couple people. We were selling little Faraday bags. Criminals, everything we're teaching is like known. Nothing's classified. So we're talking about like criminals are using these antennas to, if you have a push button start on your vehicle, they'll basically put this antenna against your front door, and it can make the relay between the key that everybody keeps by their front door and their car. But if you don't know that's a threat, then you don't even think to mitigate it,
Right. And I believe we did I did one of your classes. What was the flipper? I think it was the flipper deal. Talking about leaving your keys right next to the front door. I thought that was I never even thought of it, never would have thought of it. And that was one of those great, I was like, And I have moved them. I have moved them since, because I was like, man, that's way too easy to steal my stuff.
You wouldn't even think about it. So at least if you know it's a threat, now I can at least start to think about it, and then our close target reconnaissance course, to me, that's my favorite. I love that course. But you're going to look at your own house way differently if you go through that course.
Man, tell us. My favorite quote that I hear from students after going through CTR is, man, I see the world differently now.
See the world differently.
Yeah.
And that's now you guys have a CTR course coming up here soon, don't you?
We don't have anything scheduled on the books.
Yeah, we don't have anything on the books yet.
But yeah, I'm gonna have to. Well, give us like a little bit of a taste of like what is it? 3 day? Is it a 3-day course? 2-day course?
Almost everything's 3 days.
Yeah, we typically run everything Friday, Saturday, Sunday, except for our culmination event, which is it's a 5-day basically scenario that we set up. Thing about that culmination event is like you've got to have pretty much all the skills already in the bag, because there's zero training. We basically hand you a target packet on day one, you read through all the intel, and then you start going to work. Basically it starts off at an airport. You get a description and a photo of some folks. You build a surveillance box at the airport, and then you start following them to build out their pattern of life, and then start picking them apart. And it ends with the low vis takedown on the last day. Basically rolling those dudes up in a clandestine manner, out in public. So,
right. So you're actually doing the deeds. We've got actors, and you're doing the whole thing. You've got to find the target. You've got to study that pattern of life, the whole bit, and then
set up your
pick him up.
Site, the whole shebang.
Yeah. So it is the full mission, start to finish, is what you're getting for that course.
Yeah, and for that event, it's really a blended, Dan and I break it down into like gray zone and green zone activities, right? So green side would be like, basically assaulting, small unit tactics, sniper operations, right? All kind of the regular, kind of the Army and military tasks that you think of when you think about military operations. And then gray zone stuff will be like surveillance, close target reconnaissance, surreptitious entry, technical and physical surveillance, right? And then it's blending both of those into a full 5-day scenario where you have to know all those tasks and have the capabilities to be able to, complete your operation.
Okay. All right. No, I have not done that one. That's one, but we have to get all the other classes done out of the way first, though, for that one to actually be, because I believe the last class that we did, I suggested that we should go hide a bunch of stuff in Stone Mountain State Park. That ended badly.
Yeah.
I can tell you that that's not my forte.
That was not
so.
The greatest.
To all my fellow, it seemed like a great idea and it looked great on the map. I just have
Everything
never
looks good on
attended.
PowerPoint, man.
Never attended that facility at midnight. So,
Area study.
Yeah, area study. And there is why you do an area study right there. So cool. I seen, man, I thought I had starred stuff up there. Yeah, I remember that as well.
Not to back you up, Keith, but that's a perfect example of why to do an area study. We all go out during the day and things are the way they are. And then you go out at night and it's like a whole different scenario you didn't expect. So, you don't know until
Stone
you know.
Mountain is cool until it is black as an ace of spades. And then you're supposed to be stashing stuff for the next team. And then you realize that there's like 8 million cameras up in there.
Everywhere.
And an unreasonably high amount of people actually there.
Man, that was a lot of people for being like a closed park. I don't even know what the deal is there. But, that's what's going on when you don't pay attention to those things. I had a question right here of what was this here? Without giving away, I know, classified stuff. We're not talking about that kind of stuff, but is there a story that captures the essence of the work that you guys have done? Something that stands out amongst anything else, kind of that intertwines with Rally Point ISR? Wes, Dan, either of you. Is there a story that really just, bam, it's just like right here? There's got to be something.
I have a lot of little things, Like
my brain goes to funny shit that I've been party to.
Yeah. I remember doing a patrol in Iraq one time. We had, there was canals separating the roads, and it's not like a little like puddle you can jump across. These things are like 6 feet deep, 5 feet wide, and it was a new area. And we were doing satellite patrols, but we didn't know, so we ended up having a team in the field. We ended up having to do an extra 5 miles of patrolling to link the team back up, and that sucked a lot. And if somebody would have done a map reconnaissance, we probably could have known that ahead of time.
So Patrick said my buddy getting stuck in the mud. That is funny. That was a wild operation. I'm going to tell a different story, Patrick. I was doing a close target reconnaissance of a building. Me and another buddy were doing a close target reconnaissance of a building in Asia, and we had already done our reconnaissance and we were getting exfilled, and we're waiting on our pickup vehicle. And as we're waiting on our pickup vehicle, a cop car drives by, and me and my teammate, trying to hide from the cops, we backed into this. I don't know what kind of tree it was, but I would call it like a cedar tree. We like backed into this cedar tree. And as this cop car is driving by, shining a light and, kind of looking around, all of a sudden I start getting ting, 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 get lit up by hornets, dude. And we cannot move.
Dang.
Me and my teammate are in this tree and just getting tagged with these hornets. We're like, oh my God. We're waiting for the cop car to like leave the area. And finally the cop car, bailed. And
Man, that would suck.
dude,
Ooh.
so as soon as the cop car was out of the area, we jumped out of this tree and just start ripping our clothes off. We like tossed our gear. We were wearing body armor and night vision guns and stuff. Dropped all that, and we're just throwing stuff everywhere. Well, meanwhile, here comes our pickup vehicle as we're like butt ass naked trying to get these homeless off of us. And he like rolls down the window. And he's like, "What are y'all doing?" And we're just like, "Shut up, man!" Grab all our shit. We're half naked, pile in the car. So we get in the car and we're leaving the area, and all of our clothes still had hornets on them. So now we're still in a closed vehicle.
Closed vehicle.
Yeah, and these hornets start coming out of our clothes, and we get a little ways down the road, and we had to like bail out of the vehicle and let it air out. But the driver started getting lit up too. It was just
that's good. See you there. There you go. I knew there was at least one story that stood out amongst the rest. What are you talking about, John? The 5-day class sounds 6. What 5-day class are you talking about?
He's talking about.
Is there a 5?
Yeah, it's Colex.
Oh, okay. All right. No, getting stung by bees, that does not sound fun at all. I pulled it. But you remember it very well. There is that embrace the suck. And there it is. It stands out amongst the rest. It stands out amongst the rest. Let's talk about Texas, because it is up on Mount Readiness site. If you go to www.mountainreadiness.com and scroll down, you will see the Lone Star MR, Mountain Readiness in Grapeland, Texas. We cannot make it live until March, because that's the rules when you sell tickets. It cannot be past a year out. So come March, those will go live. And we're going to Grapeland, guys, right on Lake Salmon. It is gorgeous. It has all kinds of cool amenities. It's an 80-acre park with all lake frontage on one side, camping, tent camping. It's got pavilions, stages. It has multiple classrooms, the whole kit and caboodle. It's all ours, and that is happening March of 2027. So keep an eye out on that. It's going to be great. Of course, Rally Point will be heading that one up. And we got a bunch of people already lined up that's going to be heading down there to be a part of that. That's going to be a great time. I'm telling you, I'm super looking forward to that. And in March, it should still be pretty nice. What's the weather in that area in March? What, like 70s?
It might be, yeah, it's probably going to be low 70s. Yeah. It's a very similar climate to here in Carolina,
Yeah.
I think it's a little more humid here in Carolina than it is in Texas. So yeah, I'd probably say 70s. It's a dry heat,
Oh yeah. Get that dry heat, which, I mean, it can't be too bad in March. That's why we picked the March area. Should be tolerable for us people that don't deal well with that ridiculous extreme heat, which, I mean, I've been in Texas. I don't know. Texas is pretty hot. When I was in Houston, I wasn't a fan. That was like in July or August when I was down there, and it sucked.
Man. North Carolina's worse.
Is it? You think?
Yeah.
North Carolina,
man, I don't know.
Dude.
It's the humidity.
Man, I don't know. Well, depending on what part. Like, I'm up here in the hills, so like right here, it's like 10-degree difference from town.
Yeah. The coast is not fun.
No, it's not. It's not. So, and he said dry heat. I say, Andrew, do you live down there in Texas, Andrew? I can't remember. I thought you lived up this direction. You going to make the drive? He said dry heat. Oh, that makes it better. Iraq was dry heat. There you go. You should feel right at home. So yes, Texas, and we've got extra instructors, new instructors that are of that area. I've got some primitive skills instructors who live in that area who are awesome. and they are going to be part of that. So we've got a ton of other people for that. And remember also too, guys, we have got, oh, that's right. Russ said Andrew's in Louisiana. Yeah, now Louisiana sucks almost as bad as Mississippi. That weather can straight go to hell. It is hell. It's went to hell. So RV hookups in Texas. Yes, Tom. They have like 300 RV hookups, I believe, is what is on that place. So, like, that's a bunch. We can pack them in there. And, of course, right on the lake, they even have a water slide, y'all. Like, you know, hey, hold my beer, watch this. Could get something stupid. Hopefully my insurance company isn't listening right now. Pay no attention to that last comment. So, Andrew, what you got, man? You're going to have to get me some kind of job so I can afford to come to all your events. I have a job for you. I can make sure that your emission is covered. All you have to do is clean toilets, empty trash, set up tents, tear tents down, and you can cut a couple hours every day out to do something enjoyable. Maybe you can. Don't forget that Montana is coming up in July of next year also with Mr. Joe Dolio of Tactical Wisdom. And you guys are going to be a part of that as well. The Rally Point team will be there. And just for you guys, so you know, when we go up there, we are an hour from Glacier National Park. So we're all going there. We're all going there after the event, and it's going to be really awesome. So if you don't come, you suck. That's it. You suck. Yeah. You should come. It's going to be a good time. You know, let's see. I had my last question here. It was, if listeners could walk away with just one mindset shift, something that changes them from what you had to say, what should it be? What should the listener take? Walking away from a shift for us civilians.
Dan, we'll both.
He's like, hey, Dan.
Yeah.
I've got a comment in mind, but
I think people look at what we do, and I hear all the time about like, oh, it's like Jason Bourne stuff. It's like, no, not really. But if your security is your responsibility, right? So how many people have stuff locked behind a lock they don't understand, or they just don't understand what their security is and the vulnerabilities they have around them. And just with a simple training or class or some YouTube videos or whatever learning, you can make yourself so much stronger of a security posture. And it's not that hard or it's not that expensive, but you don't know what you don't know.
Can I add to that before Wes answers is when we were at CanCon, and, you know, here's the bad part the way I look at this too, guys, is that, and everybody out there listening to land, I am no expert in any of this. I can tell you that. But here's what I do know. Bad guys, they study this stuff all the time. Like, that's a fact. All right. And you guys were showing me some lock with the high security master with the little spinny numbers. Yeah, that blew my mind. I threw all that shit away when I got home. I was like, this no longer matters. These locks no longer matter to me.
We have a mutual friend who goes to like gun shows and sells stuff, and he posts comments every once in a while, and it's about, oh, you're teaching criminals this. Man, these guys criminals learned this stuff. We're reacting to what the criminals are doing. We're trying to counter what they already know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
no, absolutely. And that's I'll back you up on that one there. The bad guys, they train on this all the time.
You're always going to be reactive. We don't get to hunt the bad guys like we used to in the military. You're always going to be reactive. That's CCWs. That's, security set up for your house. We are always kind of already on the back foot. So if you don't take it seriously, you're already behind the power curve.
For sure. Wes, what you got in mind, man?
There's a comment, a saying that I'm fond of saying, and it's that none of us are smart or strong as all of us. It takes a community to raise a child, and it takes a community to do anything really. So I think our biggest asset is each other, right? having a community, building a prepared and self-reliant community is super important. And when it comes to security and preparedness, that's your biggest resources, the folks that you have in your community. So none of us can do it alone, right? When it comes to like physical security, one of the things that Dan and I say all the time is like, have the presence of somebody being home, whether somebody's actually home or not. If it looks like somebody's home, that's going to scare off most people. If it looks like you have a dog, if it looks like you have a security system, if it looks like you're a harder target than your neighbor, you're going to scare off more folks. Just having the presence of a hardened posture than you do with anything else. So yeah, man.
Awesome. Well, it was a pleasure. I always like hanging out with you guys. We don't get to hang out enough because usually I'm doing like, setting tents up and moving chairs around, and you guys are teaching classes from sun up to sundown. But it's always good to catch up, chit chat. We've got tons of shows coming up, guys. Like I said, we've got, we'll all be at Mountain Readiness Spring. We will all, this group, be at, there in Montana and of course Texas in 2027. We will also all be at the Sovereign Health Summit right there. And I'll end with this, guys. Like, all the gear is awesome. All the training is necessary, but your number one prep should be your health. And that is something that we disregard when we were younger. When I was young and I was in a ring all the time fighting, smoking 3 packs of cigarettes a day while I competed, I was like, I'm unstoppable. I know something about health. Nope, I was just young. Didn't know shit about health. And when you get older, you realize that there's a lot more to it. And so that's what this is about, guys, the Sovereign Health Summit. Check it out. This is about your health. And if you don't have your health, all that gear is just stuff. So thank you, Wes. Thank you, Dan. You guys are awesome. I love you, brothers. And appreciate you guys being on with me tonight.
Yeah, thanks, T. Love
Absolutely.
you as well.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely.
You bet, T.
And that's a wrap. That's a wrap, guys. Remember to stay safe, stay ready. Russ of Oz, roll us on out of here.
Adios, y'all.